All right, well, now let's turn it over to Don Tuch from AquaCal. Don, thanks very much for being with us. If
Sure.
you want to try to take control of the screen. Don, we did a whole webinar focused on heat pumps for pools. We invited Don back to the residential, that was back in July. We were invited Don back to the residential working group meeting to chat with us with more of a residential focus and more condensed. So Don has graciously boiled his slides into some key slides and takeaways, but feel free to put your questions for Don in the chat, and Don, turn it over to you. Thanks so much.
Sure. Let me see. Get to the slide here. So basically, AquaCal. I'm going to talk a little bit about heat pump solutions. The big problem we have right now that the industry has is what are they going to do because of the decarbonization? California's leading the way. I kind of do most of my stuff around California. I'm based in Southern California. Although I am the Western Territory Manager, handle all of the West Coast, including Hawaii and everything. So I have my hand on the trigger a little bit. Um, AquaCal actually brought the swimming pool heat pump to market in 1981. We are the leaders of the industry. Other manufacturers have followed suit. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. All of our units are manufactured in St. Petersburg, Florida. We did shut down for a little bit for a couple of hurricanes. We lost a roof off one building, but we got it fixed. And other than that, we survived that pretty well. And so there's a big myth out there about swimming pool heat pumps that they just don't work. They need humidity. You know, they don't work in California. There's no humidity. It's too cold. It's too hot. It's too much to run. Well, all I have to say is that's what they say, but our heat pumps actually do work. So let me see. I get to the next slide here. So with the heat pumps, it has really gotten to the point where there are actually 76 cities now in California, municipalities that have actually banned natural gas permits. So what they're doing is they have to have this. They enacted these reach codes. So part of the reach codes is that you can't get a gas for a line for your swimming pool gas heater anymore. And if you look at this example here, this is like City of Santa Monica, basically says new pool construction, if the pool is to be heated, an electric heat pump or water heater or solar thermal can be used. Well, we definitely know that if anybody knows about it, solar thermal cannot get a spa, hot enough because it can only go a little bit above ambient air temperature. Our heat pumps actually can heat to 104 degrees, which is the limit that the government puts on us to heat. And they also, our units also chill as well. So we can actually cool down water into the 40s or heat it all the way up to into the hundreds. So with our units, so we can actually eliminate natural gas altogether. So let's see. So here's another thing. That was Southern California. Northern California put the same thing in. It says including indoor heating and pools. And then so basically we could talk a little bit about how a heat pump works. Again, I had an hour and a half of slides and we kind of nailed it down for a few. So basically how a heat pump works is we have liquid refrigerant. Liquid refrigerant goes through our system and goes through evaporative coils around the outside, similar to your air conditioner in your home, right? At that point, it turns into warm vapor. That warm vapor gets compressed in our compressor, right? And that turns it into a hot vapor refrigerant, goes through our Thermalink patented heat exchanger, water flows in cold, transfers heat, turns it back into a cool liquid, and just keeps happening all around again. So we're basically, we're not burning any energy to create heat. We're just bringing in, we're just taking free heat that's created in the air. We have our Thermalink heat exchanger I talked about, and what that does is it allows us to run at a very low RPM on the pool. If you have a gas heater on your pool, or you have a other manufacturer of heat pumps, they have to run them at a very high RPM. And so when everybody's talking about saving money with variable speed pool pumps, our heat exchanger allows you to run at a very low RPM. We can run down as low as 1600 RPMs and still transfer heat. So you can take advantage of your variable speed pool pump, saving money on that way. So a lot of our heat pumps will save about 70% over gas, and we can actually save close to 60% over our competitors as well. We do have a number of different product lines available. We do have our super quiet line, which they are heat cool units. They're our main residential unit. Um, they are only at 55 decibels, so they're virtually silent on the footprint. Footprint's like 34 by 34. They're about 40 inches tall, so it doesn't add a lot to the footprint. We do have our AquaCal series. We have our chillers. Those are straight chillers for cold plunge pools. We do have our 500,000 BTU heat pump. We call it the GBB, the Great Big Bopper, and those are our commercial units. But basically, we could use those for large residential. And those units on top are actually a air to water transfer, so we're extracting heat or cool out of the air and transferring to the pool water. We then also do geothermal, where we actually can pull heat out of the water and transfer it to your pool. So we have a unit called SunPower. So a lot of people might have a pool and a spa. They don't necessarily want their pool hot year round, but they want their spa hot year round. We can actually pull the water from their pool. As long as I get 50-degree water, I can extract the heat out of that and give you 104-degree spa water. It's pretty cool. So where are we at here? So our units are fully automated. We have automation built into our units. We have our own pool sync Wi-Fi antenna. We do hook up to other automation using RS-45 protocol. Soon we have units coming out that will be cellular based, which are pretty cool. So you won't even need to have the Wi-Fi. They are Bluetooth enabled when you get to the house. For instance, if your Wi-Fi goes down, you can still reach it via Bluetooth. You don't need Wi-Fi in order to work our units. However, it just makes it easier to have an app on your phone. One of the nice things we have about AquaCal is we actually have a very nice sizing program, and I'd be more than happy to share this with you. My email and stuff will be put onto the end of the presentation, or they'll send it out to you. But you can go to our website, and we have a sizing program where we can actually choose the correct heat pump. And just a little bit on that is you just click on this sizing saving estimator button. It will take you to a number of fields. We can put in, the time of use, your size of your pool, all the location, all this, how much you want to actually heat your pool, what hours. And then what we'll do is we can actually break it down to what heat pump, how many heat pumps, how much you're saving. We could also put it into, do a comparison against gas, put in your gas rate, put in your electric rate, and you can see our savings that way as well. So what I'm going to do then is I'll just kind of finish up here with, California leads the way into electrification and decarbonization world. Other states are following suit and starting the bold path to cleaner energy, which will reduce the carbon footprint nationwide. This will result in more demand for pool and spa heating without the reliance of natural gas. And at AquaCal, we are leading the way. So I would like to open it up to any questions because my slides are kind of mixed up a little bit. But anybody have any questions? If we have time, could we spend a little bit of time on that?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. We do. We have a good 10 plus minutes. So yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, Don. Yeah, so the first question's already come in. Emily's wondering if AquaCal is CTA 2045 compliant.
So that compliance is with the new gas requirements. Is that correct?
No, the CTA 2045 is like a communications port, and folks, please jump in who are more technically
Okay,
up to
so
speed.
so
But
with
yeah.
our right. So with our communication port, because we hook into we can communicate directly to the pool equipment. It will do that. We will be compliant with our cellular based when time to go to that, but our Wi-Fi works on that. I'm not sure at this point if the pool industry has to be as compliant as the water heater for your home. I'm just not sure about that.
I'm wondering if I could pick on Owen from CZ. I mean, I think the California Energy Commission is requiring connectivity in pools, or is exploring that.
If that is, then we will be, and that's something I'll run by my engineering staff because I know we're on top of it. Like I said, we actually, I didn't mention it, we have some new units coming out. They won't be out until the beginning of the year, but we do have some side discharge units coming out that are heat cool units. Will cool down to fit 5-degree air temperature, or heat or work down all the way 5 degrees and go all the way up to into the hundreds.
Okay.
And those are all going to be those are cellular based as well.
Great. We've got some good questions coming in. I did want to ask how fast is the market transforming in heat pumps for pools? I mean, are you seeing rapid growth? You mentioned over close to 400,000 heat pump water heaters or heat pumps for pools installed. Yeah, how fast do you see it transforming, Don?
Well, we're seeing it a lot faster now in California because of the new requirements that are coming out in 2035. They're not going to be selling gas anymore. And so a lot of the other manufacturers, the large manufacturers of pool equipment, really never base themselves on heat pumps. At AquaCal, that's what we do. We just make heat pumps, swimming pool heat pumps. So we're leading the way. We are ready to go in January 1st. We are compliant with the new refrigerant. All of our units will be January 1st, so all new units will be shipping out with that. And they're all playing catch up, so they're realizing they have to do it. So it is making a big. They're making a push. They're offering all kinds of deals that they want to do to try to get into the marketplace, but we are definitely leading the way.
And are regions, are the heat pumps for pools able to compete without the policies that are driving demand yet in other
Sure.
regions?
Sure. So Florida heat pump in Florida, where this all kind of got started, is the main source of heating for pools in Florida. Um, Texas, we're finding a lot in the Texas area. Actually, Washington area and Idaho are really big on heat pump markets. The Seattle market and the Boise market are very big heat pump markets for us.
Hmm.
Um,
Great. Good to
so we're
know.
seeing that it is leading its way. I know Colorado is starting to pick up on it, and um, other regions across the Northeast, they use a lot of heating as well up there in heat pump technology.
Okay, thanks for that. That's fascinating to see that. Matt's asking, is 104 degrees the max temperature?
140 degrees of max temperature because that's what we're regulated. We could probably boil somebody if we took the governors off it, but we have to. 104 is the max that's required to shut
Okay.
off at. Most spas people keep it about 102. 104 is awfully hot.
Okay, thanks for that. Brad's wondering about the average payback versus gas and fueling costs, I guess. Operational
Sure.
costs.
So, especially in Southern California, which I can talk to about, pretty knowledgeable. Um, we're saving if someone has, especially if they have solar electricity on their house, the payback on a heat pump, if their solar is already paid for and they have enough solar on the roof, they're heating their pools for nothing. I have a customer that I worked with him. We added enough solar for his roof. He's looking at it. He keeps his pool at 80 degrees year round. He has an auto cover on his pool and the pool spa combo. He has a gas heater that he put in as well and never turned it on once. He keeps his pool 9, 10 months out of the year at 80 degrees. The other 2 months he just shuts off. He doesn't use it. Keeps it less than $1,000 that he keeps his pool at 80 degrees. In the summertime, he's in an area in the foothills where it gets a little warm. He has his heat pump set in automatic mode. So when the water gets too warm for him, he actually has it and it actually automatically chills the water back down for him. So you can keep it at a refreshing temperature year round. In Palm Springs, the desert, in Phoenix, in Arizona, in the desert areas, we're using our heat cool units. They're using the same unit they're heating in the wintertime and chilling the water in the summertime. Water just gets too warm.
Yeah, so it has that multi-functional heating, cooling ability.
Correct.
Is there any general, I mean, I'm sure it depends on utility, where some utilities with high electricity costs and low gas costs might be um, challenging, but do you have any general rule of thumb on
Yeah,
savings or
we're
payback?
about 25 to 65% is minimum. 25% will save over gas. And all the way up, I've seen it all the way up to 65, 70% we're saving over gas. And in our
Yeah.
calculator actually shows that pretty well.
Okay.
Anybody who wants to reach out to me, I can go over the calculator with them. I'm not, it's easy to do. We can put in your electric rate and the gas rate and put in the size of your pool, and we can see the savings and size and right there. So we know what our kilowatt usage is, and as long as we know what you're paying per kilowatt hour, when we know what we can save you.
Great. Thanks. And Charles just put some California requirements for pools, a link handy in the chat. Moon is asking if you plan to use R454B in the near future as a refrigerant.
I am not sure on that. I think the new refrigerant we're using is, I don't have that handy. I think it's the 32, I think it is something. It's that propane mix.
32. Okay.
Yeah.
Bethany is asking, are pool pumps integrated with pool heaters, or are those separate appliances?
So that's a separate appliance. The heat pump doesn't really have a pump in it. What we're doing, the compressor actually is the pump. So you still need your circulation pump for your swimming pool. We're basically just pumping the water through the unit, and it's not an electric heater because it's not a resistance heater. We work on something called COP, coefficient of performance. So many of our units will go all the way up to 11 COPs, which basically means for every dollar of energy you spend, we can get $11 of energy out.
Yeah, that's
So you
pretty
still
impressive.
need we can replace a gas heater.
Great. What's the range in COP across the units?
So we're minimum at 4, and all the way up to high is 11.5, depending on the model.
Great. Great. We have time for any last questions that folks might have. I was going to ask, what's the rebate landscape for heat pumps for pools?
So I have actually been working with CARB, the California Air Resources Board. We're actually working with them. And actually, I met them off of last meeting we had. They reached out to me, and now I've been working with them. They were part of that last training we did. So thank you for that.
Great.
And I've been working with them, and they're trying to get some rebates on swimming pool heat pumps. They know they need to do something. So it's still in process. They do have the federal government did put in a 30% rebate for heat pump. They didn't specify pool heat pump or not. So I've had people say they got it, but I don't know.
Interesting. Okay, folks are potentially qualifying for the federal tax credit on heat pumps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Federal tax credit, it's just like people when putting solar on the roof, they actually got a new roof out of federal tax credit too, because they need a new roof to put the solar on. So there's just depending on how they submit it.
It'd
Can't
be
tell you
interesting
what to do.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to have some official guidance on that. But that's
Yeah, I'm working on it. As soon as I do, I'll reach out to you guys and let you know.
Okay. Great. Just to open it up, any last questions from the working group for Don? Great, thanks, Don. Is there any final thoughts on where AquaCal's headed over the next year or two for rebates?
So we have programs set up. We're a manufacturer, so we sell through distribution and through our dealers. We have some rebate programs that we work on an individual basis with different dealers, where if we wanted to go attack a market, if anybody has something that they wanted to attack, we have our own in-house marketing. There's things that we can do as a manufacturer where we can help out to try to move our products and make product aware.
Great, that's great, Don. Yeah, I mean, I think the partnership between manufacturers, distributors, and programs on advertising marketing is always a great technique.
Yeah, like we did for one of our customers, we did a Facebook marketing campaign. We offered a full free pool sink antenna with a purchase of a heat pump. They send us the invoice that they bought it. We'll send them the Wi-Fi antenna for free. We've done other like $50 gift cards. I mean, there's things that we can do to help out that are legal, and just things that we can do.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Don. Really appreciate it. Thanks for talking to us about heat pumps for pools. Yeah, we'll. Sorry about that. We will, be in touch and look forward to hearing how the market is transforming.
Okay.